Welcome to the Conscious Reconstruction Podcast. This is your host with the most, aka I like another sandwich. And I'm joined here with motherfucking Logical High and Big Dog. Ashes
Yo.
in Philadelphia
We miss you, Ash.
eating cheesesteaks
Cheesesteaks.
without me. Selfish. She know I love cheesesteaks. Everybody know I love cheesesteak.
No, he don't. He likes steak sandwiches.
You
Don't
don't
let
even
him lie
like
to you like
cheese,
that.
nigga.
He don't eat cheese. Nigga like, oh yeah,
He
let
don't
me get a
even
cheese
like
I
steak.
hate niggas that
No
gotta be
cheese.
technical. That's what I hate. I hate a
Nigga, I want
technical ass
cheesesteak
nigga.
and I don't like cheese.
It's not a cheese steak.
Hey, but I order it like that.
Want a
I
steak
order. Let
steak.
me get a Philly cheese with no cheese.
Get the fuck out of here. Is that what you do?
Well, I mean, you had to
Yeah.
order it like that because then they wouldn't know what the fuck you was talking about.
Let me get a Philly.
Yeah, Philly no cheese.
Hold the cheese.
Yeah, Philly no cheese, no mushroom,
I like mushrooms.
and no mayo.
I like mayo.
But I'm fucking with the caramelized onions. And throw me a little banana pepper on there, 'cause I like a little spice.
I just start fucking with the jalapenos.
Jalapenos?
Sometimes.
Go.
Just start fucking with them.
I fuck with banana peppers though.
Nah, see, I fuck with the jalapenos, though, too.
I just start fucking with them. Like, I had some in a salad the other day.
Nah, yeah, they
I
bangers.
had some on some loaded fries, and I was like, whew. This was
I keep
definitely a
meaning to
great
go
choice.
get those nacho fries at Taco Bell with no cheese.
What?
Nacho
Nacho
fries.
fries with no cheese.
Yeah.
I don't think I like those all like that. The nacho fries.
Really?
Nacho fries right now.
Wait, have y'all seen fucking Burger King's tacos?
I'm not dealing with them.
That shit look foul.
I'm not dealing with them.
Yeah, they are foul.
It looks nasty.
That
And
they,
then they had the nerve to sell them for $1.
They-
Taco Bell don't even sell their
It's
tacos
not
for
even
$1.
worth $1. Like, what the
They-
fuck is that?
you know what?
Taco Bell's cheapest tacos
That
$1.29.
shit is like a fucking a pocket.
I almost said that I was going to get one.
No,
Just to try it, but then that's why I stopped. That's why I was like, you know what? And I just got quiet
Like,
because
it looked
like,
like it wants to be like an empanada.
Yeah.
I want somebody to eat it so I know how it is.
They got plenty of reviews on YouTube.
No,
That's what I
no, but I need like a person I know.
No, I would never just make them
Mm-mm.
eat that because it doesn't look like.
Like,
I'ma
you
do
should
it.
Eat it.
I'm
when
gonna
you
do
sitting
it.
in a line,
I'ma
I'm just
buy it
staring
for
at the
some people.
Right.
And
It's terrible.
I'm gonna buy it for like 3 people.
When I start
and
wondering.
get some real life reviews
Mm.
so I can know. Like,
They
is
not
this?
gonna want to eat it. It's all the meat is at
I
the
mean, it's
bottom
only
of the
$1.
bitch.
It's just ground
And
up.
then
I'm not gonna
all
tell them where it's at.
Ground up what?
It's just ground up burger meat.
Is it ground up what? Look,
Burger
I don't know
meat.
what that is.
Look, all they did was take their flame butter burgers and chopped them up, put some taco seasoning in them. So it's gonna be like it's gonna
That
taste
sound
like,
good.
grilled,
Grilled tacos.
Yeah, I want grilled taco.
Yeah, tacos fresh out the grill.
grilled taco meat.
Hey, that might be interesting. You get a little burrito tortilla.
Mm.
You steam that bitch, wrap it, fill it up with all the regular fixings and everything, and then throw that bitch on the grill for extra, just like crisp on the outside.
Mhm.
That
Those
might
be a banger. Yeah, stuff
That's
like
the
that is a
thing.
banger.
Is it? Who's putting burritos on the grill?
They will put them in like those
Taco
little
Bell.
those presses.
No. I mean like a charcoal grill.
No, I wouldn't put it
Oh.
on the grill.
Yeah, I meant-
I thought you was talking about like a flat top grill.
No, I mean like a real
Yeah,
grill.
that's what I thought you were talking about.
No,
too.
I mean like a real, like after I've already made it.
I mean,
'Cause-
you'd have to put it in something because the tortilla would stick to the grill.
I want to put aluminum foil on.
Oh, I
Around it.
mean, at that point, you just
No, because I'm cutting slits through the. I'm not wrapping it in aluminum foil so the smoke and all that can still get through and crisp it.
I get what you're saying.
Huh.
We should have a cookout.
I'm with that.
wonder how that would turn out.
I'm with
I'm more
trying that
interested
too.
in the way the tortilla would turn out. Anything else?
We should do
I
it.
hope we made you all hungry.
Yeah, we did read too. And the next couple things we're gonna talk about is a complete trash and sadness. So
Trash and sadness.
hold your hats for our first journey into what is trash and fucked up in the universe. I'm gonna go with fuck the cop that choked out Eric Gardner.
Yeah.
The last day to indict him passed yesterday, and no indictment came, which means that people are just gonna let this man walk free after we clearly see that he killed someone, saying I can't breathe. We ignore that. We don't care about that. Fuck that. It don't matter. Whatever.
I don't understand how they hold these police to such a higher
Low
regard.
standard. It's such a
Yeah,
low.
like-
Y'all got high regard and low standards.
Right.
I don't get it because it's just like if he was never like a police officer and just a regular person on the street, he would have been charged.
Facts.
Yeah.
Especially if
no
he was
matter
black.
white or black. Yeah, now
Mhm.
black, hell yeah, but no matter white or black or none of that shit, like you would have been charged if you were just a regular.
Yeah, even in
Citizen.
prison right now, you would have been. This shit would have been done and
Yeah,
over with.
yeah, that
Wouldn't
would
have
have
been in
just
the news
been
anymore.
murder flat out.
Right.
But
But
no,
because you're a police officer,
you get this little
and,
finesse.
yeah, and the man is telling you he can't breathe.
Excuse me.
Bless.
Thank you.
No
But
problem.
yeah, no, super trash.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P. bro.
yeah, R.I.P. and just condolences to his family because I know that's
Most
definitely got
definitely.
to be shitty, especially now that you know that there is going to be no justice
No
to be
justice
served.
at all.
And some other sadness. Sadie Robert Joseph, a prominent black activist from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was murdered by one of her tenants and found in
Trunk of her car.
the trunk
Yeah.
of her car. I was trying to see if it was her car or his car, but I know
It
she
was
was
her
found in
car.
the trunk. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so a lot of people speculate that. Well, the news speculates that it was over back rent that he
Yeah.
hadn't paid, but she's also the fourth black activist to die, or well, not really die, to be murdered within like the last 3 or 4 months, all having to do with Ferguson. So that's interesting
Agreed.
Yeah.
that all of these prominent black activists are being murdered, and it's happenstance, but
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of happenstance happens to the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's a lot of orchestrated. We gonna get y'all the fuck out of here. So
Right.
just a lot of sadness. So condolences to her family and
Yes.
daughter. I saw her daughter on the news giving a statement. So I know that's hard, especially
Right.
your mom has
Yeah.
just been like. It's not like she was sick or
She
anything.
was-
Like
I
she
was
was
just-
just
yeah.
like
Yep.
y'all could have been having great conversations like hours before, minutes
Mhm.
before this psycho decides to take her life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's trash.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
And so I think that's enough of the death. But we have, I don't know if it's worse, but well, no, I guess it's kind of good news. R. Kelly got locked up, and his bond is denied. They
Mhm.
refused to allow him to go home. The judge said that he's still a danger to the community, even if he doesn't have his passport and things like that, because he brings the little children to his house. So he doesn't. It doesn't matter if he leaves or not.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Right.
coming to him.
Yep.
And so yeah, he's I guess conspirers and people close to him, staff, brought 20 tapes of him having sex with underage girls. And so
20.
mm-hmm.
God.
He had a whole fucking collection in
I didn't know they
Florida,
found them.
but they
I know
couldn't
the
do
I
nothing.
remember the Florida
Yeah.
ones and they couldn't use them. That's what's up though, man. He needs to go to jail.
I mean, he was gonna get got after all that shit came. After that documentary, like people never let the shit go.
Yeah, he's a super fucking nasty.
Yeah, so every time he got pulled on something, he'd get away or he'd barely slide out, and then something else would pop up. That nigga, you've been doing this shit for so damn long. You probably got shit places you don't even remember.
Yep. That's a true statement. We need to have the same energy for these other
Offenders.
activists, not activists, but political
Predators.
people that are also predators that are also doing the same type
that's
of
not
shit.
gonna happen.
Epstein.
Those are
I
white
know.
people,
I know.
and they're powerful.
Do you
white
think
people.
that R. Kelly would get sympathy if he committed suicide right now?
Yes.
I don't know. If he committed suicide right now, how would I feel? I would never want anybody to commit suicide, but at the same time, it's like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? You know what you're doing is wrong. You've done things to make sure that you don't get in trouble, or to try to make sure you've done things to hide the things that you've been doing. So, I really don't have no sympathy for a nigga the nigga being in
would
jail.
I have sympathy for him? No.
Yeah,
But would people have sympathy for him?
I
I believe so. Yes.
I think that it's still some of them fans out there that's free R. Kelly.
Yeah,
He
if
didn't
R.
do
Kelly
nothing,
died
like,
or he committed suicide, it'd be a whole situation.
But-
It'd be a whole fucking thing.
I don't know.
It would probably wouldn't sit in the
I don't
news
really
that
feel
long,
like it would
but
be a lot of people that would have sympathy for him, because anybody who saw that one tape that came out, like, how could you support him?
Yeah, no, I don't agree, but I do think that people would have sympathy because I think a lot of people would go to the, oh well, we never
If
got a
y'all didn't-
resolution for it, and so we don't know like the real conclusion. So it's just sad he took his life, and so you know how
We
people
know
are.
the real conclusion if it's on the tapes. We don't really even need the judgment of a jury at that point for me because the proof
see
is
what you
there.
did.
We see it, nigga, like clearly. But I don't know.
And I did have another piece of terrible news. Well, I guess it's another good news in the shitty world.
Good news in a shitty world.
Yeah. That's what this segment should be called.
Yeah. I'm
Good
fucking
news
with
in the
it.
shitty world.
I'm fucking with it.
The game has his royalties and all income streams seized until he is able to pay off this $7 million settlement. Not settlement, but
What was the settlement? What was it for? It was a girl, right?
yeah, he sexually assaulted some woman on a reality show, on one of his reality shows.
Nigga, what are you doing?
It's from years ago. It's on VH1,
That's
but
wild.
he had
I
to pay
remember his
$7 million.
Yeah.
I remember his show.
I
That's
remember the
wild.
show. That's
I
when
don't.
shit was
Yeah,
popping.
What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Reality TV and
Yeah,
shit.
so-
Yeah, like, bro, what are you doing?
So $7 million.
Nigga, get
for
your life
that.
together. Get your life
So he
right.
gotta pay $7 million. He ain't get R. Kelly though,
No.
Nah.
or Bill Cosby, quote unquote.
Yeah, no. Neither one
Nah,
of
they
those.
just like nigga, you gonna pay this money, or you
Damn,
not gonna
like-
make no money essentially.
I was about to say you can't even make money. That's fucked up.
Yeah, no, it's pretty trash.
Should have thought about what you did, bro. I think some people be thinking. I mean, this is not to say this about him, but some people be thinking they be untouchable.
I think most celebrities do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Prime
sure.
example. College scandals. Becky.
Yeah.
Man.
That dumb shit.
This is a prime example.
Whatever.
Celebrities
What's
out
going
here
on with
doing
them, I
shit.
wonder.
Oh. They took plea deals and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Paid
did they?
lots of money
Uh-huh.
to do no jail time.
Yeah.
But funny enough, Big Soldier got free from jail
Soldier.
and immediately got slapped with a lawsuit for missing a show.
Swear. I didn't even know.
Yes.
Damn, big soldier.
Damn, this supposed to be your biggest comeback, my nigga. What the
No. His biggest comeback don't come till 2020. It's just the biggest in
All right,
2019.
all right.
He working there. He getting
All right,
there.
you
know.
right.
The
Right.
biggest comeback of 2019.
Soldier Boy.
in 2020.
Yeah.
Comeback in 2020.
He got to the end of the year.
My nigga, wow. Whoa, why did my watch face just change to gayness?
All right.
It loves me. It was
It
like,
wanted to
bitch,
let you
get
know.
rainbows today.
Rainbows for you. All for you. But yeah, no. I just thought that was hilarious. As soon as he got out of jail, he got slapped with a lawsuit. I was like, they could leave Big Soldier alone.
They was ready.
Couldn't just let
Lawsuit.
him leave.
Oh, my nigga get out on the 15th. Bet.
Like, oh, we heard you got them consoles, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you had
Alright,
a
with my
the console.
You can't come do this show, huh? All right, bet.
bet. They gonna do 6ix9ine like that.
Oh,
If ever.
he got to go.
Swear.
He just trash. But in some lighthearted news, Jermaine Dupri, after saying women all wrapped around the same thing, thought that it would be an amazing idea to hold a female cipher, and was swiftly told by the populace that no one wants that from him.
I really like.
So he has come back and tried to explain his comments on female rappers. I didn't listen, but there is another part to that story.
I haven't looked at any of that story at all. I feel like everybody raps about the same thing. Really, like I feel like
I guess
generally people rap about money. You know.
I mean, I understand his point in a sense where if you look at the top 5 rappers that are male, let's say Kendrick, Cole, Drake, Big Sean, and I don't know who y'all want to put in there for 5th, but whoever y'all like, y'all
Question
can
mark,
throw in
question mark. Yeah, it's whatever.
there. Yeah, but they all relatively have extremely different content.
They do.
But if you go
But
the top 5 of the female, it's Nicki, Cardi, Meg, probably City Girls, and we could say Lizzo.
Lizzo is the most unique out of all of them.
Yeah. And
But
the other 4
are pretty much in the same boat.
Clones of each
Yeah.
other.
And I can understand that portion of
And
it.
so I think that's what it is but once you go outside of that, then yeah, all the men that aren't really like good artists are definitely talking about the same shit. Guns, fashion, hoes, drugs. And I think
agree.
it's a reverse where once you get out of that top echelon for the women, you get into like the Tierra Wax, the Jean Greys, the Rico Nasties,
Yeah.
and then that's where you get your variation. So what you only see from women, is kind of like that one-dimensional
It's that
wow,
upper echelon.
which you see from men. You can always point to them like, no, it's diverse because look at our top. It's always
right.
different. Where they're like, well, what about these same? Like, well, they're not really selling because look at our top. Where if you're like, well, what about these women? They're like, well, we don't even know about them because look at y'all top. And so I think,
But maybe that just speaks on how much his ear really is to like the music scene, because you would know that there are other women out here that are not just rapping about the same cloud of things that the top 3-4 women are rapping
Another
about.
part of it is, I believe, that when it comes to women, sex sells.
That's
So, like, in the sense of you taking all those female rappers that are like lyricists and like regarded as that and don't use their sex appeal, if they were to have that sex appeal, they'd be up there. I'm not saying that they need it because their skill is enough, but they're not as popular because of that sex
that
appeal.
aspect, right?
That's
right,
all
I
it
got
really
you.
is. Because like if they had that sex appeal, if they use that sex appeal, I should say, and they would easily bump off the top 5 female rappers real quick.
That's wild.
So it's like
I don't know.
it's just like it's more money dominated when it comes to that situation. It seems like to me.
I'm not mad at his statement. How like people are like, oh. But at the same time, even though, I know Jermaine Dupri has had his time in the game, but now I just feel like,
you
what
wash.
are you doing?
Like, I feel like,
what
why?
you doing? Like,
Yeah, where you come from?
like,
Anyways,
for
like
real,
why
though,
why did you feel you had to
I'm
say
sorry,
anything on
but
this?
like, I hold him to the same degree as Bow Wow, low key.
I guess
Like, dead ass.
I
like,
kind of don't
bruh.
blame him because I watched the interview because I wanted to see where it came from. So I didn't watch the full interview, but I saw the question, and she asked him, "How do you feel about the current like female artists?" Why do y'all keep asking these niggas that we don't give a fuck about their opinion this question?
Because they're supposed to be OGs in the music game.
But that doesn't mean that they listen to everything.
You're right.
I don't even.
But they
I
assume
ain't
these
gonna say.
people keep up on shit like this because
But
of
why?
their lineage. I mean, like what they've been in. Like that's your career. That's where you've been. You're known for music, so people assume you would keep up with music.
I don't even think
Like if you're known for art, people assume you keep up with art. It's just what it is.
I don't think they be keeping up with shit though. Like
I
I
feel
feel
like
having like older rappers reacting to younger rappers.
Most
and shit.
people only know the highest people in their profession once they leave it. They don't really go digging. And so if we're going to talk about the highest people, that's all the fucking same for women. So that's all he going to know because he's like, yeah, I know the current women that are out that are popping, but they all doing the same shit. And so I don't see where someone in the older generation would feel the need to go digging. He's not actively involved.
But at the same time, I feel like if they would have asked that to someone else, they would have had a completely different response.
Like who?
Along the lines, like within JD's, Jermaine Dupri's, like generation. Who? I don't know, like fucking Diddy. Diddy's in that line in that generation.
Diddy bring a Making a Band back too, so he might have a better ear.
Yeah, like I just feel like it might be, but
I feel like
Jermaine Dupri is not like I don't know what the fuck he's doing now.
But see, I guess that's my thing. Like you got to pick other people that are doing what Jermaine Dupri is doing, being out the fucking way.
Right.
So and then tell me what they're gonna say. Cause y'all picked a nigga that's just chilling out the way, doing reunion tours with his niggas, down there arguing with Bow Wow about what's happening in current hip hop. Why the fuck would that be his realm, spirit, or concern?
It's funny that you say that because last time we heard about JD, he was commenting on the shit Bow Wow was doing.
Yeah, that's what they be doing. He be arguing with Bow Wow, or he did the reunion tour, the So Def reunion tour.
I didn't even know they did a reunion tour.
Exactly.
They got a lot.
You see?
The So Def Squad had a lot of bullshit going on with them, so you know.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know why we asked him anything.
I mean, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm just asked
no,
why.
He definitely wasn't the person to.
No, they could have asked somebody more relevant in times.
I don't give a fuck what you have to say, sir. Like, why are you here? Who brought you? Whose man's is this? Like, just dumb questions. But I also feel like whose man's is fucking Gunna and Tierra Whack.
Bruh,
I don't care about the
Whack was
Blueface shit, but
We was talking about that, the whole Blueface situation.
Blueface.
no one cares about that. But Tierra Whack and Gunna, like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Y'all gonna just skip the
Right.
XXL freestyle?
What's wrong with y'all? Gunna, I was waiting for your
And
freestyle.
Gunna, you skipped the cipher as well.
Right.
You skipped everything but the interview.
Why did y'all even sign up for the shit?
Yeah, why
To
y'all
not
here?
Participate in the XXL shit.
Like, y'all know what it's about.
Right.
Like, every year it's the same shit that they do.
Y'all niggas already have exposure, so y'all didn't need the exposure.
Yeah, like, Tierra Whack is critically acclaimed. Gunna's huge. So
She
y'all
just
could have
worked on
chose.
fucking Lion King. Like,
Yeah, so
bruh.
y'all could have chose not to do this, but y'all chose to, so why not do the things that they do? If you want to be there, be there. If you don't. Like,
Do you get a check for XXL cover?
no.
I don't
Oh,
think
so yeah, I don't understand now. I'm completely out the window. Like, oh, maybe they
I
went
feel
there for the
like- I feel
money.
like if they would've
Oh,
got
you don't get a
then
check
they
for
would've
it.
had to do that
So I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like
like-
all these people that opted out have like, because the only reason I could think for you to do it outside of that money is like exposure, and all three of y'all, we're not really counting Blueface
All
in the
three of
situation,
y'all.
but all three of y'all have hella exposure. Like I knew about y'all, and y'all like Gunna's album talked about his album.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw Blueface. And Tierra Whack she's going off. Like y'all all are very relevant and very popular, so I don't understand why y'all did the cover. Y'all could let somebody else have that shit.
I was
That
just
don't nobody
thinking
know
that,
about.
That was a waste.
Yeah,
Like,
and
somebody
see,
else could've
I
been
know
on there
Gunna was talking
really
about,
doing
I
their
want my
shit.
cover to be legendary.
Who said that?
Gunna. He said he wanted his XXL. He's like, yeah, it's really important to me. Bruh, let me let you know something. I didn't even watch your interview because you didn't do the other two things.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch most of Tierra Whack's shit. You wanna know why? Because she didn't do the freestyle, so I didn't watch her interview or her ABCs. Because I don't care. If it's not the full thing, I don't care about you.
Mm-hmm. And then niggas know that majority of the time niggas is looking for that cipher or
That freestyle.
freestyle.
Like, if you're not doing
From
those, why are
XXL.
you really here?
I mean, the
That's what
freestyles
they
be cool.
know.
I'd be more excited about the ciphers. I like the
do
ciphers.
too. I do too.
And now
well, at least Tierra and Blueface are doing a cipher.
this nigga
Yeah,
Gunna.
from what I
I wanna
hear.
fight this nigga.
But I'm not gonna hold my breath because y'all niggas didn't do the fucking freestyle.
That's wild.
To
Yeah.
reveal the conversation we was having outside the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bad about Blueface not
Yeah,
freestyling.
no, I'm okay.
'Cause I feel like he
Alright.
can't freestyle. And then
Blueface,
him on the cipher, it's like,
baby.
Yeah,
eh.
Yeah,
Alright.
Blueface. I can be without Blueface.
But like I said, his music is entertaining to me, so I don't know. He might say some.
Hey, he might be the coldest freestyle because he raps so offbeat
Uh-huh.
that when he do an acapella, that shit might be hard as fuck.
It might be that's like, but like he gonna say some wild shit, and I know I'm gonna like it just because of what he say. But it's just, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
he got an awkward rap style, so I don't know how that translates.
you know,
Blueface, baby.
I'm not a.
That's
not-
the only part of the freestyle I know that's gonna come for sure.
Oh, definitely.
And then he alright
Yeah,
because he had to let you know he was alright.
He might even dance a little bit.
Just a little two-step ditty.
Right.
What else is on my list of wonderful news? Oh, fucking last thing on my list. The government has responded to all the people threatening to
yeah. Let me hear
charge
about
it.
this shit, boy.
What they basically said is that this is a private Air Force training ground, and the Air Force
You will be shot on arrival.
the Air Force is always standing ready and willing to defend their ground.
And willing.
Yeah. So basically, if y'all come here, we gonna knock y'all head tops off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see what this about to be. Because it could either be real interesting and call they bluff, or it could be real crazy,
Hey,
or they could have just hold everybody just not show up. So there's like 3 options right now.
nah. See, that's what I think gonna happen. One, well, I had a whole issue with them just storming that place because I don't really see how far y'all really gonna get, even if y'all were to get to the actual facility.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if it's the 2 million that they think might go, 2 million is
that how
definitely
many?
okay, you can have 2 million
Damn.
people, but 2 million people is not gonna break down this secure door.
it might.
I mean, hey, if somebody in there that got the skills to get through this system, fine, do what y'all do.
No, but I mean like just brute strength. Y'all will be able to like smash through all the people, and once y'all get rid of all the people, y'all can drive trucks and
That's
shit
if
like
they
that.
not shooting.
I mean, even if they shooting, let's say there's 10,000 with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got, let's say, a 30 clip on y'all, semi-auto.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all probably got maybe 300,000 bullets in that first wave.
I mean, that sound good, but these
But
are
after
regular
that-
people. They're not shooters. That's what they do.
True, but but you don't have enough bullets to get rid of all 2 million
No,
before you
facts.
gotta reload your gun.
Facts.
So now you gotta reload your gun while they still coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
They probably got weapons too.
Even if
Storm
they
the
don't?
base.
Huh?
I mean, I would assume someone will bring something if you gonna storm.
I
a
mean, yeah, if they
military
storming,
base.
I'm gonna say, but even if they don't, you still got
yeah, you
to
still
try
got problems
to
deal with.
reload
They
because
need to quit being so fucking secretive. They
That's
wouldn't have
another-
shit like this going on if they just let niggas know what the fuck it was.
no, I'm interested. Either
Shit.
people
I'll
not gonna
watch it,
show
though.
up. Yeah, I'm
Shit.
gonna be right here eating
Need
popcorn
somebody to
watching.
be on live.
Yeah, you definitely be on live. We would appreciate
You know, I'll watch.
Facebook TV,
Oh yes.
YouTube,
whatever that IGTV shit is.
yeah, IGT, whatever y'all want to
I'll
do.
download my social media back
Oh,
for that bullshit.
What I was gonna say is, I believe it's gonna happen though. Only reason I believe it's gonna happen is because white people are fearless and bold when it comes to shit like this.
Hey,
Fearless and
They are, because what? All right, see, this
we
is the
are
thing.
in a
this is the
fearless
thing
and
of-
bold time for white
Yes,
people.
this is the time. This is the thing about white privilege. White privilege allows white people to do shit that other people wouldn't consider doing.
That's a
You
fact.
look, I can guarantee a whole bunch of black people wouldn't have got together like, yeah, we about to run up on this government base.
Shit.
We know in our minds they gonna wipe us out
Yep.
discriminately
Yep.
and be
Yep.
like, oh, they stepped on a mine that was out
Yep.
here, that was left out here from
Yep.
testing, or an inactive bomb.
Yep.
They all exploded.
Yep.
And then everybody's like, oh, damn, they shouldn't have been there in the
Damn, we
first
shouldn't have
place.
been out there. Y'all know
Let
what it
2 million
was.
white people run up on a military base and they wipe them niggas out. It's gonna
Don't
be a
kill them.
population. It's
They're
gonna be
white.
a U.S. critical situation. Niggas gonna be mad. People gonna be protesting all over the place. And
No,
then they're
I'm
like,
trying
oh,
to
they
see it
not gonna do
happen.
nothing to us. We believe in our
I'm
government.
just trying to see them
Bet.
run to the base.
America.
I just need to see them go to the
America.
base. They
Bet.
just need to go to the base.
So, like, white people have this
I'ma
boldness
watch it, man.
that comes
Let me
along
get
with white
the- I
privilege.
gotta follow
So,
some more white
yeah,
people
they say
now.
they gonna do it. They gonna do it.
Watch them sit on live.
It might not be
Somebody
the
live.
numbers, but they gonna get there.
I'll watch that shit.
And I'm all about it. When is this supposed to happen? September.
something.
And then I saw the memes going around. It
No,
was
the
like
memes
me
be
after they
having me dead.
infiltrate Area 51 up there twerking with some aliens.
Bruh, they had the fucking Halo guns and shit. Talking about some after we storm Area 51.
I got the Halo
Fucking
sword.
Halo guns and shit. Going with the little spikes that stick out the
Yeah,
back.
needlers.
Yeah.
What if they
We're
find out
actually
like
talking
a
about
weather control
Trying to
machine?
develop something like that.
What if
You
it's
said
no
what?
aliens but a weather control machine?
That's very interesting because of something I read.
What about that big ass machine that be producing clouds though?
There's a machine that produces clouds.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
never
have
seen
stuff
that?
in the sense
Like, you
that
never
control.
seen
We
it?
have things that fucks with weather already. We don't have anything like there's nothing confirmed that could like create tornadoes and hurricanes on
Yeah.
point, but we have weather altering machines already.
Altering to what degree? Can we make rain?
If you can make clouds, you can make rain.
I'm pretty
We can
sure
make
that
rain
machine
inside.
made a
I mean, you
fat
can make rain
ass
inside of a bottle. You just
big ass
gotta
Not being like,
provide like the
like-
right atmosphere.
I
situation.
understand that, but like a good downpour.
Yeah.
But y'all don't want to send fucking trash to this fucking sun. You niggas is so fucking
This
lazy.
topic comes back on every podcast. Y'all don't want.
Oh, you know something that's funny that's gonna probably piss him off about that whole situation.
What?
Bezos is like, hey, we gotta leave Earth. And it's like, Bezos, why? And why you spending all these billions to leave Earth? Because we killing it.
Yeah.
That was his answer.
So don't save
Dead
it.
ass though.
Not let's save Earth.
No,
Not
we
let's
gotta leave this
preserve the
motherfucker.
fucking place that we were given. Let's fuck it. We're out. We trashed this place. Let's just go find a new one to trash. What kind of
Essentially.
fucking white people shit is that?
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I don't understand.
like,
But yeah, it is your turn,
People
Marcus.
that don't have
I got a
connections.
whole thought situation. I just came up with a whole nother one having that conversation, but we're not gonna talk about that because it gave me a headache trying to put all the pieces together real quick.
Mhm.
So the one I was thinking about. So I was watching the Jurassic movies the other day, the newer ones, and
All the parks.
the second one, Extinction, I think it was called, or whatever the fuck it was. No, that was a
Whatever
game
the
name.
fuck.
It was not Extinction. But the basic part of the movie was, should they save these dinosaurs? And I thought about that, and I'm like, so would that be a thing? Like, if we were to recreate life and bring dinosaurs back and they were facing extinction, would we have any obligation to save them like we'd save any other extinct creature or a creature facing extinction? Because, I mean, we brought them back. They're now living creatures. They exist in our world.
I mean, I don't really feel like I don't know, because if we made them once, we can make them again. So, if that's the case.
Because, would, PETA flip the fuck out? Because, like I said, they're
mean,
living
brought it
creatures
back.
now.
But still, we brought it back, so it can be made again. That's just so it being extinct twice is like, okay, we'll bring it back. I don't know. PETA.
That's what I'm saying. Would it be an issue? Would we have an obligation? Because in the movie they did.
I mean, I
They didn't
agree
take
with
any obligation to it.
We'll bring it back again. That just makes the most sense. We'll bring it back
We'll bring it back again.
Yeah,
We brought pigeons back
for no reason.
wherever the fuck they went.
Oh yeah, that shit.
Fucking pigeons.
Pigeons are so fucking dumb.
And once again, I like to put it out here. Those movies are the perfect example of why we should not
Fuck with shit.
bring shit back that's not supposed to be in the environment.
Facts.
Pigeons are dumb.
Facts, nigga.
Fucking Oh, are you gonna talk about the Mammoth Gold Rush?
Yeah, we can talk about that real quick. So in Russia, because of our climate change and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
the snow up there, well, not the ice caps, and permafrost that's what it is, the permafrost, which is basically the frozen land is thawing out, so they can actually dig in it, and stuff is being revealed, and all the mammoths and whatnot that were up there that died are being revealed, and people have access to them now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, mammoths are elephants.
Yeah.
Elephants have ivory.
Yeah.
So mammoth ivory is
Money,
going
nigga.
right now
Yeah,
in China.
money, nigga.
And China is the underground for all the medicines and all that
Everything.
whatnot that's not like spiritual medicines and things like that.
Yeah.
And things used for rituals and things of the sort. So people are up in Russia right now getting all the mammoth ivory they can and selling that shit in China.
Really?
So it's like a mammoth gold rush right now.
I didn't even know that. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's wild.
And
What they really should be fucking concerned about is the permafrost. The fact that this shit has been frozen all this time, and it has been a part of the land all this time, and now niggas could just let's dig around.
that's the true issue
What the fuck?
that everyone
that's
should
what
pull
niggas
out
should
of
be
this.
Concerned about. What the fuck? I'm scared, nigga. It could
She was
be
like,
some
"Oh,
type
that's
of
cool,
fucking
but what about
disease
the
up there
shit
that's
that
just
thawed?"
frozen shit in the land? Like, what the fuck?
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
no, they
thing,
don't
too,
give a
like,
fuck
With the permafrost
at all.
thawing,
No
anything anything that was frozen, like
Yeah, now it's
viruses
exposed to our
from
atmosphere.
hella years ago, like you
Anything
said, it gets
is
released,
exposed.
and we had to find a way to deal with that shit.
Niggas
But
out
we don't know
here,
what's in the ice,
bruh, man.
so
Us as people, we always looking for
Yeah.
a fucking come up, man. I mean, we should, but this is the world that we've created for ourselves to always look for a come up.
Talking about that made me think about the other thing we were supposed to I was supposed to touch on before I actually got into stories. Yellowstone. So
Oh, fucking shit. This shit, I kind of want this shit to happen. Let me just be real honest with y'all.
Wait, I don't know what's going on.
I know. It's going to sound real crazy once
I
I
know.
tell you that I want it to happen. But I do. I think it'd be interesting. But go ahead, Marcus.
I mean, before I say that, I want a whole like Dr. Stone reset, but we're not gonna talk about that. But Yellowstone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yellowstone, for the people that don't know, is a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
The whole national park, essentially, is just a huge crater, and it's a volcano. So more recently, people have become more fearful of it going off. Scientists have been in arguments over the recent years, more recently now, about it being due. Because like that, like over the years since like the 80s, they've been trying to like map the volcanic history of Yellowstone, just so if it were to happen, we could have some type of contingency plan.
Yeah.
But once again, Earth acts like it's a living fucking creature, so
It is.
you can't really map that shit. They're trying, but it's not really working too well. And Yellowstone going off would be probably the most devastating event this century alone. And the most devastating thing our country has ever had, our continent has ever had to deal with. Not just the United States.
Right.
Because Yellowstone is so big that it would spew enough ash into the atmosphere to cover 2/3 of the United States.
God damn.
It'll probably cover a good portion of Canada, a good portion of Mexico.
Really?
In the initial explosion,
We would survive.
yeah, we would survive. It wouldn't get to us. But in the initial eruption,
Hey, I would go exploring into the exploded areas once it kind of settled down.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will, because the whole environment would change. It would kill 87,000 people just off the eruption alone, and everything within the park is instantly dead because that whole park is just the mouth of the volcano.
Yeah.
So all the animals, wildlife, anything reserved in there. So buffaloes extinct.
That's crazy.
Like the wolves that we got left in Yellowstone, gone. Everything gone. And like the radius, I don't even remember the blast radius for it. Just like landing rocks and magma and lava.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it would spew the ash, would essentially block out the sun, and the temperature would drop to ridiculous lows. So that whole West Coast, the environment, like I said, would change. It would become like a ash snowland, I guess.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine that, though?
Yeah, it would, like, literally, it would be snowing ash.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. And the widespread ruin and destruction and, like, and anything on that coast is destroyed. So any communications, anything that we depend on from that coast is over with. So everything from the West Coast, over with. It's crazy.
No, I really need to look into that shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't even, not that I wasn't hip. I was hip to Yellowstone, but I didn't realize that this could potentially be an issue.
Do you know the type of weed we could grow out of volcanic soil?
It would be, bro.
Yeah, this volcanic OG.
This is
Yellowstone.
This is
Yellowstone
OG ash right here.
OG ash.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Like, that's all I know.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, no, that's all I know.
Crazy. Yellowstone would change and it's crazy just to think about the environment alone. It would just change the landscape. It would change the whole environment. Like, it just become a whole new area. And then what would grow out of it, who the fuck knows? Because it's volcanic ash, which is very fertile. So it
that is
could potentially.
What the fuck is it? The upside down is gonna be on the West Coast.
Yeah, and like it'd literally be
hell yeah.
20 to like 30 years
down
before anything would be active over there, depending on how long the volcano rages.
That
but we don't know how long it's gonna spew after it erupts. How long it would take for the shit to cool and all that other whatnot.
Hey, but
it would just be off limits, just period.
it might be like so icy that polar bears have a new place to live.
I mean, that definitely would fix the climate situation. Because the planet will cool, or at least that section.
That section of the planet.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
That would be wild, man.
If we could map it and just move everybody over.
Yeah.
And figure out when it's gonna happen.
Well, see, we don't want to do shit like that. We want to go to fucking Mars and shit.
Like, think about
we're trash. We are so trash.
Our population is like 300 million in the United States
Imagine
alone.
everybody trying to move over here.
Right.
I mean, realistically, they could. Like what?
We have to build up.
I mean, but there's a lot of just like rural area that we just don't use.
That is also
out
true.
Here in the Midwest and shit like that.
It's like Ohio, like it's all farmland out here for real.
Like we could realistically house people if we wanted to. We just got like acres. Like I drive past so much land.
Yeah. Like you
all that
through the middle of
Ohio
nowhere,
turnpike shit. Turn all that shit.
I'm really
into.
for keeping the open land. I see so many like.
Oh no, I'm not saying like
deer
change it
and
now.
shit.
I'm just
No,
saying,
we're talking about crisis situation.
Yeah, crisis.
Yeah. In that situation, yeah, but
right now you got it. I like.
She's
my
like,
deer.
no, fuck that. In this situation, I want my
deer
land.
just in the middle of the street, like a male too, just like literally like in the middle of traffic, and niggas just stop like. All right, bro, like, get the fuck out the way, like, on Mayfield, like, this nigga just chilling.
That nigga just lift his head all majestically, like,
yes, he did. Yes, he did. And
all
he
right.
stood and walked for a moment, like, y'all niggas gonna stop. Ain't nobody gonna hit me.
Right.
Then he crossed the street, and then he didn't even go back on the fucking sidewalk. He just stayed on the other side of the street, like, oh, bitch,
My nigga
you're
learned.
honoring.
He's like, I'm
already.
out here.
Like, nigga, this is my land. It was my land first.
He's like, you don't want to fuck your car up?
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't. Do you
Your
want these
insurance don't
issues?
cover me.
Do you
Hey, all I know is I feed my deer every day.
Hey, I love deer.
I'm trying
Shout
to
out
pet
to
her.
Sophia for bringing her kids to my yard every year and birthing them and
that's
getting stuck in that bitch.
That's what you call her, Sophia.
Sophia, that's her name, yeah.
I see. I call ours broke leg.
Broke leg. Oh, his leg was, or her leg was broke.
Yeah, she got hit by a car,
Oh.
and then like my mom like was feeding her and shit while she was like in our backyard, and so like now she always just comes back. That's why she gets so close to me. Like I can hand feed her, but she won't let me touch her. I'm trying. I'm definitely
That's how
trying.
the deer are at my mom's house.
Just super friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like deer.
Fuck around to be the same deer. My mom lived right around the corner.
That'd be hilarious.
For real.
Yeah, no, deers are dope. She always be walking with her tongue out, looking goofy as fuck. No, she coming for food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! But we interrupted you to talk about deer. What were you saying?
I'm talking about the land's majestic creatures.
Yeah, me and you definitely just fell into a whole conversation
Deer
about
love.
deer.
Hey, man, you
Deer
know,
love.
land got majestic creatures. All right.
You know what's terrifying? Mooses.
Moose are big as fuck.
Exactly why they're
I don't
terrified.
need them niggas nowhere near me.
Nigga, exactly why I'm terrified. A moose is like as tall as me on all fours.
Yeah.
I'm a box that nigga and it's not gonna feel it.
Nah. He gonna hit you.
And they're aggressive. Cause like
Yeah.
they just like will attack you if they feel like you too hostile or too close.
Here's a nice little tip for the world. Most of the animals in the world that kill people don't even eat meat. They ain't even trying to eat you. You just too goddamn close.
Yep.
You ever been hippos? Hippos kill more people in Africa than any other animal.
Bro, hippos.
Just because you got too fucking close.
Hippos
So
are savages.
just
hippos
leave
are
animals alone.
on
Them big
trash.
vegetarians,
Yeah.
like the moose, hell, even the big ass bucks out here. No, I don't need it.
That's because we are.
I'ma walk
we've
around you.
intruded on their
I'm gonna
land.
give you your space. I have respect. I'm not crazy. All right, but on to these science
Look at my
worlds.
shirt.
Is that Bob Ross?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Fucking Bob
Yes, it
Ross
is.
on
It
your
is
shirt.
A painted shirt of Bob Ross.
Okay, I was like,
tie dye Bob Ross.
you did. I was like, is that looks like Bob Ross?
It's Bob.
And so yeah, that was your stuff. Like, I feel like that is Bob. Okay, yeah, good vibes. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Thanks.
Okay, so I guess I'll jump off of Bezos real quick. So
Bitch ass Elon.
yeah, talking about space and whatnot.
You gotta stop playing with the stick.
Oh, I was. In my head, I was trying to pop that shit off, but
Why are you doing that?
I don't know. It was there, but so hopping on to NASA
Hate you,
because
niggas.
apparently NASA's only funds are from these billionaires right now. So
What? Oh, because
you know the government don't really fuck with NASA
yeah.
like that. So
Because
NASA's
global warming
plans.
isn't real.
NASA like, hey, we got Plan B, right? We working on it, and it comes from Carl Sagan's idea on who, if y'all don't
That's
know,
Virgin Mobile, nigga.
no. Carl Sagan is a world-renowned physicist.
Oh,
He's the person that mentored Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna say he had some involvement with him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know his name either.
But Carl Sagan introduced the idea of terraforming, and they're playing with the idea of terraforming Mars now. Actually being able to do so.
What's terraforming?
Creating an atmosphere for a world that doesn't have one, so you're able to live on it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They really into this shit, huh?
Yeah. The initial idea that Sagan had was to vaporize the ice caps on Mars, which are composed mainly of water and carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is one of the main greenhouse gases you need for atmosphere because it lets light in and doesn't let heat out. And they've developed this really thin silicone material, which is 98% porous, which essentially you could use to either build biodomes or create an atmosphere in a sense, or help in the process of creating an atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
that would be wild as fuck.
Yeah, their plan B is to get on work and start actually trying to get this together and the silicone right so they can use it to build biodomes and create an atmosphere for Mars, to terraform it. I mean, once you have the base for the atmosphere, once you introduce like the greenhouse gases, because you initially would just have carbon, and after you introduce the rest of them, like methane, and also having water in the atmosphere, and introducing plant life and stuff like that, it'll naturally kick on its own natural engine because the plant's recycling the carbon, creating oxygen and whatnot in the atmosphere.
So basically, just get it started for it. And
essentially, but the silicone would help with trapping heat and keeping water under a temperature of frozen.
Got you.
So it can actually create the atmosphere.
Got you.
But that's what NASA's up to right now.
Wow. That's really like futuristic as fuck.
And we out here trying to create atmospheres.
That's wild. Why come we can't fix our own fucking atmosphere?
Because we suck.
Stupids.
Talking about things we doing though, which might help with fixing our atmosphere. Tokyo scientists, fucking Asians, have created a battery that can successfully convert thermal heat into electricity.
So that sounds like the batteries that you need for a cyborg body.
Essentially.
That's not.
That's where Tony's head is going.
No.
Why not?
I mean, there's probably simpler ways you could like power a cyborg body. But for what you're talking about, we have thermal batteries that could do that already. The talk about that, like, they just can't create mass like energy on. They can't create energy on mass levels, and this is what they're getting into now.
Yeah, no. So I want the cyborg body that can do that.
Yeah, it can't. We trying to figure that out right now.
Yes, I'm trying to get the cyborg body like Cyborg.
Like, well, what they've done is they've created the battery
without the red eye,
and the battery, like, they're testing it right now because it's like somewhat unstable still. Because at certain points in time, the battery had just stopped creating energy. They can't. They're trying to get it to a point in which it's stable, in which it could be like used for constant energy. It could be like a generator or a battery or like something of the sense like that. Like before, the issue was like the battery couldn't be placed in its thermal. Let's say like you couldn't just throw the battery in some lava, for example, wild shit, and it produced like it's supposed to because they eventually break down and whatnot.
Right, I got you.
So that's what they're trying to get into, because if they can do this, that means we can produce energy on a mass level around the world using our own thermal energy, which would be more efficient than using sunlight, and is more efficient than using wind power. The only thing that probably come close is water with hydroelectricity, because we have dams and we can control the flow of the water when we need it. But thermal energy, you're pulling directly from the Earth's natural energy. Like the Earth ain't doing nothing but just moving, doing what it does every day. And you're pulling energy from that to convert it into electricity. That means it'll probably kill fossil fuels. Something crazy, like especially if we convert over to like electric cars and stuff like that.
We can put that in like cars and shit if we last on this planet long enough to do this shit. But
we could put it into rockets.
We could also
put
do
it in
that.
anything really.
Do you think rockets would be able to?
And that's another thing that comes along with space travel, because like if you have batteries like this, you can cycle heat energy. So like you said with rockets, you're blasting off all this heat energy coming off the rockets can be recharged these batteries.
Right.
No.
That would be dope as fuck though. That I look forward to.
And then human applications, like I said, we have the smaller batteries. Humans create heat naturally, or any warm-blooded animal creates heat naturally. We get off, I think, about a joule worth of energy an hour or something like that. I can't give you the breakdown on joules and how that converts. I'm sorry. But that's energy terms. Joule is how we measure energy. So humans give off, it's either 1 or 100.
That's a wide variance.
It's a wide area, but in terms of talking energy, it's not really that wide. It's like going from 0.5 to like 1 in terms of like actual energy levels. It's just I don't remember off the top of my head.
That would be dope as fuck though.
Yeah, thermal energy.
In a world of just thermal batteries. Everything is operated with these thermal batteries.
And the initial idea of using it came from like solar panels, in which they just like flipped the idea of how solar panels work, and instead of having the black dye in the solar panels, which collects the light, it would be thermal receptors in there that would just like pick up the temperature and convert it and whatnot from the plates being heated.
Like there would be no need to have like not electricity, but just plugging things in, because you could just do it with the battery. Period. Like, so that's
because then at that point we have thermal plants instead of lights.
Like, what the fuck? That would be dope as fuck though. I'm with that. I'm with the shits.
All right, let me get into the last of it. Elon Musk.
Musty ass Elon.
With you sent us, right? I'm gonna start with that.
Musty.
So he's working on the Neuralink, because his company is Neuralink that deals with linking brains and technology and all that whatnot. So that's the other venture he's on outside of like space and all that whatnot. So what you sent us was talking about him doing a project that had to do with linking your mind to cell phones. And people felt some type of way about that,
I felt the way about that.
Why?
You can talk about it real quick before I actually get into the bulk of what the science, because like what I'm talking about is everything behind that.
Yeah. So why do you feel away about it?
Because I just don't think cell phones are really that important that we have to be
Neuralink linked to.
Yeah, I don't really feel like that is a thing that we should be linked to.
Because I mean, if you're neurally linked to something, you're controlling it with your mind at that point.
But what if you could be neurally linked to your MacBook?
I wouldn't really care to have that either.
You don't think that would be helpful?
It would be cool, but it's not nothing that's like, I don't really think it's a necessity. Like,
I wonder if I would be more skilled in
maybe
like
you would just constantly have Google.
No, see, this is what it like. Okay, let me explain it a little bit. So, like, let me explain how it works, like how the neural technology works, and it might actually help you answer the questions that y'all talking about.
Okay.
So, basically what the technology does is it has electrodes, which I talked about this a little bit last week on like the brains and how they scan the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand it a little bit more. So our brains give off electric signals, and those electric signals is everything which commands our bodies to do whatever we do, thinking, or we don't, because we move without thinking about it. We just do the actions, right? And those are the electric signals given off. Now the electrodes would essentially memorize those electric signals given off and send those signals to whatever we're connected to, and it would just do that action without us having to like
without actually having to physically do it.
So like if we had, let's say, if they had a neural link to your arm, your arm would just move like it was your actual arm, and it wouldn't be like you had a robot arm, like someone that would have like a prosthetic, and where they would have to move parts and whatnot. If it's neurally linked, it just moves like it's part of your body, and that's all the electrodes would be doing.
Much with phones, like I'm just thinking about calling someone. And the shit
you'd have the thought, and boom, or like, oh, look this up on Google. You think about it, and your phone would just do it.
Okay, that I'm not mad at, but I still don't really think that
it essentially removes the thought. Like, all right, so you ever see like any like futuristic versions of humans in which like they are to a point in which they don't use their bodies anymore, or they're like floating around and stuff like that? That kind of pushes you towards that. If we don't go to like text, because like at this point it's like, because in those like scenarios, people are usually like psychic or the minds are really strong. But at this point, like if we could just control things with our minds, why are we doing anything else with our bodies? Yeah. Because like I don't have to move. I could like my 600-pound life, real life. Yeah, that's you don't need shit lazy. Because you could just use your mind to do it.
Need anything like that. I feel like we can be connected to the earth that way. That would be love. I mean,
that would be
like
lit. That was called Avatar.
But I feel like we done failed so much from that portion of our, existence as a people, as beings.
But
I don't think we need that for
on
electronics.
The flip side, like I said, it could be applied to what he's getting ready for, because you can see him, he's amping up for it, in which you could become completely autonomous, or be just like.
But not even that. I think it like just right now. Would it make you better at like graphic arts?
I was just now when you said the whole art thing, like if I can just
go in there and like make perfect circles
in my imagination.
Yeah, like if I can start doing that.
Imagination
because like think about it. It's not like all right, between your mind and you telling your body to do something, like let's say you're linked to a computer, right? Your precision would be as precise as if you were actually doing it with your hand. Yeah. So it's like, let's say, because sometimes you draw on a computer, those lines are kind of crazy, unless you're like you have like a sketch pad like you have and whatnot, in which you actually can draw. In your mind, it's your mind, so you can be as precise. You'll be as precise as you could actually be yourself. And then with the technology, you be even more precise on whatever, because the technology itself could perfect the imperfections, I guess. So
that, thinking of it in that aspect, I think that would be super dope. But I still don't think that is something that we really need.
Oh, I don't think we
I feel like people don't know how to limit
a cyborg.
Like yeah, but still, like
cyborg.
Even in that aspect, I think that a lot of people have like, I mean, of course, you would still have your own style to shit, but a lot of people have their own style when they're drawing and shit like that. And if the computer can perfect it, like it's gonna be your style, but it's still gonna be like.
Yeah, it won't be.
Not your style. Like your style is just, I don't know, it's just yours. But I don't know, that would be dope as fuck though if I could just look at my computer like, well, that's finished. Like just finish a fucking design because it's finished in my head. Like, yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, it'd be like printing. Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah. Electronically printing. Onto the computer.
Or like copy and paste.
Yeah, so I'd be interested in that.
You know how easy it'd be to write a fucking book? Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh. No,
I could just sit here and think the story out instead of actually have to put it on paper.
But you can make a whole ass movie though. Like, you can just imagine it. Just however. I think it's dope, but
yeah, no, I don't need it.
I'm not in agreement with it.
Yeah.
I want it once y'all give me my robotic body though, because then I'm gonna need it. Then I need it. because then I can move my
I
legs
mean, yeah,
and
so
my
you wouldn't be able to
arm,
function without it.
my back.
Because with technology like that, you essentially could just be a brain.
Yeah.
And a dick.
Well, yeah,
A brain and a dick.
but
and
like,
my tongue.
That part.
So
but
I'm
essentially,
keeping this
at the
right
very
here
base of it, to
up
function, you just need a
and-
brain, though.
and my pelvic area. Other than that, can go. My lungs can go. I'm also keeping my heart,
Okay.
but I'm gonna get a secondary heart. That's for
The backup part.
the machine. in
Mhm.
me.
It's the backup
The
part.
real heart is so it pumps just nothing but pure regular blood to my brain,
Mhm.
which I don't think should be mixed with any synthetics, and to my dick, which I also don't think should be mixed with any synthetics. So those
I
would
love
be.
how much thought you've put into this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm dedicated to being a cyborg.
Obviously.
Like,
It's obvious.
yeah, every step they take, I'm right there with them. Like, yes, cheerleader,
Yes.
go Elon, go
We're
Elon.
a little bit closer to being cyborg.
We are. Map that brain. Figure it
I
out.
also have another, while we're still in science,
Mhm.
I also have another deep fear of an ancient creature being in the ocean now, thanks to Jurassic Park. So, yeah.
You feel like that's it.
Look,
Angry creature.
I already believe Megalodon's still swimming around. Our oceans are fucking huge. You can't tell me shit. Like, but now I'm scared the mosasaur might be here too. I ain't got time for that.
You know what I think? I think there is something that froze in the water, and it's gonna thaw out.
Probably.
And it was a water thing, so it didn't really die. It just is
Mhm.
in stasis. So it's gonna thaw out, and it's not gonna be in stasis no more. And that's
The
gonna be a
depths of
motherfucker.
our ocean
That's
is
another
just
thing,
A mystery.
Cause like the reason, like I said, the mosasaur thing, that made me think about something. I'm like, could you imagine the impact on the environment if something like that was reintroduced into the environment? Like something like even just like Megalodon, for example. Since people actually know, I don't know, people know what the fuck a mosasaur is. But a Megalodon, that's a 50-foot shark. That's a shark big as most of the smaller whales.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 50-foot shark, that means you can hunt anything in the ocean that we know of. The impact alone, just one of them.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's just
factual though.
It just fuck up, like, because we have things that are supposed to be here in the world. You take it to a different part of the world, and it just fucks up the whole environment because it's not supposed to be there.
Right.
And we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring these animals back and just throw them in the environment. What? You know, half these animals can eat us, right?
That's okay.
We don't need to bring shit back
I don't know.
except for bees.
Yes,
That's the
Yeah,
only
we
thing.
need
but no one
bees.
seems to give a fuck about the
bringing
bees.
The fuck back.
Everybody keep trying to leave the fucking planet. No one cares
Yeah.
about the bees or the trash. Everybody's like, we're just gonna leave and
I mean,
go
here's the-
somewhere else and fuck shit up again.
And it's just so crazy how deep the ocean is, and all these like fish and shit can survive the weight of like water, like pressure and shit. And we have things like steel and shit like that.
They can't do any of that.
Yeah, like that's wild as fuck. And it'd be like little shit,
Mhm.
like you know what I'm saying, little fish and shit like that.
It's a lot to do with the fact that they're so small, and a lot of them have like no body mass, or a lot of them are like invertebrates. There are fish down there with bone, but like their bodies adjusted to the pressure that like if you were to bring them, like the pressure itself keeps them alive. Because a lot of creatures at the bottom of the ocean that were to come up to the surface, they would just like deteriorate. That's why a lot of it we don't bring up.
I didn't know
Because we can't study it out of its own pressure environment, because that pressure alone keeps the animal together.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Their bodies were just built for that environment.
That's dirty.
Like a lot of like anglerfish and whatnot, like they
You
can't
just
survive
fall
outside of
apart.
that pressure.
After the pressure, like your organs just start falling out your body.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
Your body just is
My
like.
hand just fell
Bloop.
off.
I'm gonna start doing this. I find interesting things a lot recently. Discovered there's a jellyfish in the ocean. It's like 6 feet wide. It has like 200 feet long tentacles. So be wary. And I'm done with science.
Thank you for that
200
drop at the
feet.
end.
It's called a lion's mane.
It's called a what?
Lion's mane.
Lion's
Jellyfish.
I'll have to look at that. Look that up.
Well, with that, I think we're gonna close the show because we're not doing a relationship segment since Ash isn't here.
Yes.
But I can tell you what we will be talking about for next episode on the relationship tip. or at least one of the things is 7 things all men need in a relationship. Just getting a female perspective on this, seeing how my co-host over here of the male persuasion feels about this list. All of
Okay.
that. So yeah. Thank y'all for listening. Like, subscribe, comment.
Do that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know that. Review, rate.
Make sure
5 star,
y'all-
5
make sure
star.
y'all follow us on iTunes.
iTunes,
Conscious
Instagram, Conscious Reconstruction. We out here. So yeah. Little bitch.